While much of America in the late 1970s was mired in a recession, one paradise was booming. But Miami, Florida's relentless march of progress, came at a heavy price. Griselda Blanco would admit to running a massive narcotics ring, conspiring to import and distribute literally tons of cocaine into the United States. She's accused of ordering dozens of murders. Griselda Blanco fled her war-torn homeland in 1974. While she started at the bottom of the drug trade, she would become one of the leading distributors of cocaine for the infamous Medellin cartel. Pablo Escobar and a few of the great Colombian kingpins had so much power that they had politicians, police, and federal agents on their payroll. They thought they were invincible. Without Griselda Blanco, there would be no Pablo Escobar, period. She broke the glass ceiling in terms of female drug traffickers. She was somewhat of a visionary and knew that the market for cocaine hydrochloride was starting to expand in the United States. She saw an opportunity and took advantage of that. At the height of Griselda's reign in Miami, cocaine use was rampant. It's estimated that thousands of illegal Colombians were living and working within the billion-dollar drug industry there. Ronald Reagan declared war on drugs in South Florida, sending a special task force down, flooding this area with federal agents who said this is like throwing a dart at a board. This is the easiest thing we've ever seen to make arrests. Come on, they're all over here. It's the largest effort the federal government ever made in modern times to intervene in that region, a city and an area county that was out of control. There were so many ways that the system was being bought and manipulated that if the federal government had not come in as the cavalry, it wasn't going to get cleaned up. In many ways, Griselda de Blanco built this town in the late 70s. Dealers like her put their cocaine profits into banks. The banks, in turn, loaned that money to businesses, home buyers, and developers. There are thousands of properties worth more than $1 billion that have been bought with illicit money in South Florida. There are many stories of cash, green money being brought to homeowners and agents in suitcases and paper bags. Condominiums shot up like weeds, and just overnight, it changed the landscape of the city. After over 10 years of intense investigation, Miami and Metro Police said they had enough evidence to pin the 1982 murders of 3 Dade County people on this woman, 51-year-old Griselda Blanco. Certainly, if she was not one of the most prolific traffickers in the Miami area, she clearly was one of the more violent. Prosecutors had her former henchmen lined up and ready to testify against her. She was transported from federal custody to state custody in 1994. The period from 1994 to 1998 was spent basically deposing all the witnesses that would be testifying against her, which turned out to be an extremely lengthy process. Over those 4 years, the government's case collapsed in scandal. There was a problem with Jorge Ayala, who was the star witness against her, the #1 hitman who became romantically involved with one of the secretaries at the state attorney's office. It was all over the Miami Herald. The state attorney's office was embarrassed. They had to fire several people. Ayala basically did a great job of botching the whole case by having phone sex with the secretaries. Eventually, the decision was made by the prosecution that the key witnesses had been compromised to the point of affecting his credibility on the stand. Deals were made, and she ended up pleading guilty and essentially received a 10-year sentence. In June of 2004, Griselda Blanco was released and immediately deported as well. However, she had made so many enemies in her professional life that as soon as she reached the tarmac at the airport in Colombia, her lifespan was almost nil. Finally, Griselda Blanco was shot to death in Medellin on September 3, 2012. She was 69 years old. Take a look at the story of one of the biggest traffickers in the world. Click here. Thank you for watching till the end. We'll meet again soon.